You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming. It's 70 on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of No More Future. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alrighty. As long as you're in charge, you say. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Morgan. I hold you in the highest regards. I am in awe of your dedication, of your commitment to your duties. But we both know not everyone in the world is like you, don't we? Not everyone is so outstanding. Not everyone is so well-meaning. What do you say would happen if anyone else was in your position right now, like Isaac here, or Dr. Shelley, or any of your subordinates for that matter? Would they share your same sense of responsibility, your same level of care in everything you do? Or would they disregard these things and steer the company their own way? The wrong way, I should say. Bradbury's malicious words are like a spell, chilling the air around the table like an icy wind, only seldomly interrupted by the dog's own laughter. In the end, it won't be a crisis to end Pandora. It won't be inflation or a market crash or a natural disaster or even a war. All you need is the wrong man, in the right place at the right time, and everything and everyone will vanish in the blink of an eye. All we can ponder, really, is when it'll happen. The sudden scraping of Jasper's chair against the floor as he quickly stands up frightens you more than a jump scare in a horror movie. Only a single vein is visible on his forehead as he turns to address you, his stern tone only barely concealing the sheer volume of fury he's hiding beneath. We're done here. I'm sorry? I said we're done here! The dragon is oblivious to you still needing time to process everything that just occurred. For just a moment, so are you. Stand up! You do so right away, unquestioningly, like an automaton heeding its master's command. All you can think about is the quickened beat of your synthetic heart in your chest. When the Drake turns and begins to head towards the exit, he doesn't need to shout for you to follow suit right away. You hear the canine's playful voice echo behind you as you leave. You're not even going to wait for the desserts to come out? They smell like... I don't care. The dragon's response is quick and to the point. I'm not hungry anymore. As you pass by the head waiter on the way to the door, Jasper swiftly pulls him in by means of his necktie. You saw nothing. You heard nothing. Keep it that way. He's almost choking the old skunk by how hard he's tugging on his tie, yet the man tries his best to appear unbothered by it nonetheless. His best, unfortunately, is not nearly enough. Indeed, sir. Nothing out of the ordinary happened, and no one will ever suspect otherwise. His frantic tone is all the confirmation the Drake needs, and CEO swiftly releases him. The waiter needs some time to catch his breath as the Drake heads towards the elevator, his every step echoing in the room behind him. As you rush to follow him, you turn your gaze a final time towards the concerned waiters who have appeared on the scene to look after their shocked colleague. Thank you for the meal! Have a good day! Though your mind is completely fried at present, it seems you haven't forgotten how to be polite. If nothing else, though your thoughtfulness rings hollow now more than ever. Hollow indeed, much like the waiter's own voices, ever silent and unresponsive as you hastily exit the restaurant. You exit the building with fevered steps and find yourself once again in the busy, colorful streets down below. Second now. Alright, Jasper didn't wait for you in the elevator like you thought he would, instead preferring to take the long and laborious way down, also known as the stairs by most. He probably needed a moment or two to himself, you reason, and truth be told, so do you. God, what is wrong with my life all of a sudden? Where'd all these weirdos even come from? Between Jasper's, Bradbury's, even Mary's bullshit, I'm starting to lose my fucking mind. This is definitely not what you signed up for when you chose to become a synthetic, that's for sure. And yet it doesn't seem as though this madness is going to end anytime soon. What the hell's even going on anymore? All that talk about Pandora owning everything, how it's too big to fail, and the consequences should it actually fall have completely short-circuited your brain. Pun intended. Still, what are you meant to make of any of this? Why did Bradbury steer the conversation in that direction? Why does it feel like he wanted you to realize what you did? And why did Jasper even... There you are. A familiar Drake suddenly walks up to you from behind, an annoyed look on his snout. Why didn't you wait for me in the front of the exit? What do you mean? What do you mean, why didn't I wait? What do you think I've been... Only now do you realize you've actually walked a fair distance away from the restaurant while lost in your own thoughts. Almost turned a corner, too. It's a miracle Jasper ever even managed to catch up to you at all, judging from how worked up he is. Oh, never mind. Sorry about that. The dragon doesn't accept your apology outright, and instead allows himself a breather by sitting down on a nearby bench, clearly exhausted. You half expect him to start tearing on you at any moment now, but instead he motions for you to join him with a wide movement of his hand. Sit. His gaze appears stern, yet it could just be that he's just tired. It's hard to tell when it comes to this guy. You hesitantly rest your behind on the steely seat beneath you, leaving as much room between you and the Drake as you can. So awkward. Jasper appears lost in contemplation, or maybe he passed away with his eyes open. Who knows? You're not sure whether you're supposed to join him in quiet meditation or try and break the silence somehow. Both options seem wrong to you, and yet... I needed some time to myself. Unexpectedly, the dragon speaks up all of a sudden. That's why I took the stairs. I assumed you'd have wanted to stay away from me while in such a state. Ah, so he's once again trying to pretend as though you're a real person. Very cool of him. Not all that effective after his distasteful performance at the restaurant, though. You'll need some time before you're willing to take him seriously to this stick again. I appreciate that. Kind of. The Drake's gaze suddenly turns to the sky, an indecipherable expression on his face. I'm sorry you had to bear witness to that spectacle upstairs. It wasn't my intention to behave so inelegantly in front of you and the staff. Truth be told, it wasn't my intention to have that loudmouth show up all of a sudden at all. Yeah, I could tell. Jasper shakes his head vigorously as his tone grows ever so slightly angrier. Why in the world did he have to bring all that up all of a sudden? Or show up at all, for that matter? Of all the times to intrude unannounced and derail my conversation. Our conversation. You make sure the CEO can hear you as you raise your voice. Bradbury may have showed you up unexpectedly and caused a mess, but you're the one who went off topic for no reason first. Last time I checked, we were supposed to... I know full well what we were supposed to do. Ever so slightly angrier is nothing more than a euphemism now that Jasper's turned to face you. I don't need you to remind me what my duties are, android. Besides, I don't know what you're complaining about. As far as I can tell, I gave you precisely what you asked for. A conversation between equal minds. A far more pleasant and engaging activity than simply crossing out queries from a mindless checklist, don't you agree? I guess? When you think about it, it's not like it was entirely unpleasant to have that talk with Jasper earlier. The unpleasantness only came from the sudden influx of new and frightening revelations. Had Jasper spoken of literally anything else, perhaps you might have even enjoyed your time with him, compared to the alternative he suggests. Even so, I still don't get it. What was even the point of telling me all that stuff? Why go through all the trouble when you could have just asked me, I don't know, what I think of my situation and stuff? Because asking you how you feel is Dr. Shelley's job, not mine. I'm a businessman, not some kind of make-believe psychiatrist. Rude, but you suppose you can see the logic in his assertion. Still, didn't the owner say... I'm aware of what the owner said. He quickly cuts you off. Believe you me, I do quite well. They want me to contribute to Dr. Shelley's project, and I fully intend to do so. In my own way and at my own pace. For now, I simply wanted to address more important things with you that simply couldn't be delayed. He said something along those lines earlier, too. Something about how he couldn't learn more about your situation when you're unaware of it yourself or whatever. On one hand, it kind of makes sense, wanting to enlighten you about some stuff so you're not just stumbling in the dark all the time. At the same time, though, you can't help but wonder if that's truly the Drake's ultimate goal. Still unconvinced, aren't you? Huh? Ah, the Pandora mind-reading trick, an all-time classic. All jokes aside, you probably gave it away with that desolate look on your face, or maybe through the way you clasped your hands. You're not all that great at concealing your emotions, truth be told. If it truly bothers you so much, I'll try to be more engaging the next time we have a moment together. You mean you want to do this again? Of course. You didn't think we'd be done with just one session, did you now? We have plenty of time ahead of us, after all. And though I am a rather busy man, you don't appear to be so in the slightest. Well, that doesn't sound fun at all, especially if the next times are going to be anything similar to the first. However... I mean, it's not like I have a choice either way, do I? Oh, for crying out loud, you're acting like I'm sentencing you to prison work or something. It'll be just more of the same. Simple conversations in the midst of lunch or something else. Before he can go on any further, however, the Drake turns to face the other way, an uncertain look in his eyes. Though I can't really fault you for feeling that way, can I? Not after letting that imp run amok for so long. It's actually rather astounding. Is Jasper being mindful of you for once? I guess I'd be lying if I said his presence at the table didn't trouble me at all. I'm just not sure if I'd still enjoy myself without him around. No, that sounds like an insult to the Drake would hurl at you, not the other way around. You're better than that. What I mean is, I'd feel a lot safer without him around for sure. But you can rest assured that worthless second-rate agent will not trouble us again. I'll be extremely strict with the management of the next locale I bring you to. No customers, no employees, no elevators, no open windows, and no Bradburys. As appealing as that idea sounds, it's anything but reassuring. You can't quite tell how or why yet, but it feels hopeless in a way. Sad, even. You make as if to speak before you've even finished sorting out your feelings. That doesn't sound like such a great idea, honestly. The Drake reacts at your sudden interjection with great shock. I think it'd be best if we went about this another way. You'd want us to be surrounded by gossiping locals? The sheer doubt in his tone almost has you reconsider your position by itself. Yeah, I think it'd be better that way. And what would that accomplish exactly? I thought you'd prefer being alone while we go about our business. Jasper is confused yet genuinely curious, much the same as you are after hearing that last part of his statement. Is that why you had the whole dining room empty? To accommodate me? Ugh, please. Make no mistake, Android, I did it to accommodate us. The less people are around, the less opportunities for pests to show up, like nagging customers or nosy journalists. And you're pretty sure he only asked that of the restaurant after confirming you'd be coming along. It doesn't sound like something he would have done otherwise. You're probably reading too much into this, but no, you're definitely reading too much into this. Well, I just got to thinking, both times I met him, Bradbury approached me in a secluded environment. Your observation is quick to get the gears in Jasper's head turning, and he allows you to finish before voicing his thoughts. The first time he showed up, it was in the middle of my apartment. Now he showed up in what was essentially a ghost restaurant. I think it's because he only wants to interrogate me in private or at least somewhere without many eyes on him. I see what you mean. Then what do you suggest? Well, it's not a perfect plan, but maybe he won't show up if we surround ourselves with other people. A man like him would stand out amidst the crowd, after all, and I don't think he'd like that very much. It might be a long shot. It's bound to bring a whole slew of problems in its stead. But if there's any chance of getting rid of that jackass following you around everywhere, you'll happily take it. But there's more to it than that. Nope. You reckon you've wasted enough time already trying to hide yourself from the world, avoiding public transport unless absolutely necessary, avoiding journalists whenever they show up, and now dining in empty restaurants. This isn't how you're supposed to be living your life. Not alone, not afraid. Assuming this is even the time to be worrying about things like these, after that end-of-the-world discussion that you just had. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. I gotta get some stuff done around the apartment. Thank y'all so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!